Yeah, this is Covina Man. I'm just gonna do a quick video for my inner city preppers out here just trying to survive in the event that there's an emergency and you have to get around. The idea of gray man applies different to different people. Now, if you from the inner city, you're trying to get around an emergency, even on a normal day, you might have some harassments with certain people. So the idea of trying to fit into an environment and not be noticed might be harder for some people. If you're on color and if you're a black male, you're not going to fit in certain environments. So I was kind of working on the idea of doing a gray man disguise if you're in the city area to look more invisible, even though you're visible. This may seem silly to some, but it may work for others in certain times. There's an emergency and you have to look for some resources, or you might have to go around and walk down some alleys or some places that you may not be familiar with. You might have to kind of look like you belong there as opposed to look like a threat. I'm just dressed a normal. So on a normal day, I just wouldn't fit in. No one would notice me. You might just notice, oh, there's a guy. And there's a black guy, he's not threatening looking. But that could get some people killed. And it has. So I was thinking about, okay, gray man, and you're in a city, in the city area, in an emergency, just your regular look may not work for some people. So let's say you remove your jacket or your hoodie and put on something that we see every day in the city, especially during an emergency. You're going to see people walking around look like this every day, whether it be the construction worker, the utility worker. In an emergency, people are going to expect to see guys out there with a hard hat, and so now all of a sudden you look like, oh, there's a worker over there. He's going to do something constructive. Now all of a sudden you're less threatening, and you look like, oh, you're just some blue collar guy who's out there trying to repair something or check on something. So now all of a sudden, where you were a threat looking before, now you turn invisible again. People are going to expect to see emergency workers during an emergency. So you can walk down alleys, walk around corners. People, oh, that's a guy. He's a utility guy. He's an emergency worker. It might seem silly to some, but then you can just become invisible. Peace.